let's have a conversation about the Moon tarot card. So this particular card that I'm showing you right now is from the Dreamkeeper's tarot deck. I'm going to show you a different image as well. This one is from Lisa Sterl's Modern Witch Tarot, and it's a little bit more of the traditional image that you'll see associated with the moon. So just take a look at the image. And for me, when I'm reading tarot for people, I really like to keep in mind that the meaning of the card changes depending on who's asking the question, what's going on in that person's life, the kind of energies that are out around that day. So it's not that there's one particular meaning that you kind of want to land on, but rather you want to take a moment to think about, how do you feel when you look at the card? What do you notice about the card? What are the details that stand out to you? So you can take a look at this one again from the Modern Witch Tarot. So you've got this kind of strange path that these two figures are sort of thinking about following or close to, and they're looking up at the moon, and there's this kind of strange figure in the water behind them, and they're wearing masks of a wolf, which often with this image you'll see two wolves as well. And then you have this image from the Dreamkeeper's tarot, which is a little bit different. You have this woman who has some of her skeleton kind of exposed, and she's also sort of in an embrace with this figure that's kind of coming through the darkness. So taking into account how you feel about the card and about whatever the card was that you pulled in your particular deck as well, I'll give you some things to think about around this card. So the first thing is that I often see this card coming up around themes of grief. So the moon card really means that you're in a place that feels strange. It feels unfamiliar. It feels like, yes, the path is there, but maybe you don't know exactly where it's going, or it's not going where you thought it was going. If you think about trying to follow a path in the light of day, you can see everything really clearly, and the sun has this compass-like quality where you know that it rises in the east and you know that it sets in the west. The moon is much more changeable, and it comes out at night in the dark when things feel a lot less clear. And so going through an experience of loss or an experience of grief can change you so fundamentally that you can feel like you're walking around in the same world as everybody else, but it looks different to you. It's darker to you, or it just feels really strange. You feel like people can't see you. Maybe you feel some invisibility around what you're experiencing in terms of the grief. And so you can really feel that you're on this path that doesn't really make sense to you. It doesn't feel super clear yet, right? And I think especially if we're thinking about grief with the Dreamkeeper's tarot image here, I sort of see a woman who's in an embrace with death. So maybe she's in an embrace with what she lost. Maybe she's embracing the process of going through the grief, that can be a really important place to be as well. Maybe there's something that she's holding on to that it's really time to let go of, especially if you do have a loss in your past and you're thinking about, how do I move on from this? The cards may be telling you that you're needing to let go of some of the processing around what happened. Maybe that means you need to do more processing, but it's sort of time to work through the feelings around that so that you can step back into the light, knowing that probably the world is going to look different. Having gone through a major experience of grief, it's not going to look the same as what it did before, but that doesn't mean it can't be in the light. It doesn't mean people can't see you or, feel you or empathize with you and what you've been through, right? So the other piece that comes up for me in particular, as I'm pulling this card for myself, is really being just in a place of not knowing, being in a place of, you don't get to see the path forward. You don't get to have the light shone where you want it to be shone. And you have to spend some time being in an experience of uncertainty, which is not easy for me. I imagine it's not easy for a lot of you. But just, when you're trying something or you're wanting something, or you're in kind of a transitional phase in your life, it can really feel like, oh my gosh, I just want to know what's going to happen, or I want to know how long this is going to last, those kinds of feelings. And there are times in our lives where we just don't get to have that. We just don't know. We can't know. And so the cards are reminding us in this case that there is some real wisdom and some real value in sitting with the discomfort of being with that darkness, being with that uncertainty, being in a place of not knowing, and really seeing what you can learn about yourself there. So it's really, for me, I think, this question of kind of embracing, I don't know. So those are some things to think about around our lovely moon card in the tarot deck. I hope that was helpful for you and your spread for today.